Hi there and welcome to this short video review of the Aputure 672s LED video light. Now Aputure sent me this light for the purpose of this review and I've had it for a couple of weeks now and I've had a good chance to put it through its paces, test it in a variety of different scenarios. I've had it on some corporate shoots, some documentary interviews and a few pieces to camera. And in fact, the light that is lighting me right now for the purpose of this review is the 672. Now, I've been a big fan of Aputure products and I've been using them and purchasing them with my own money for quite a while. I use the tiny M9 video lights extensively. I use the newer F7 and the H198s as well. So I think Aputure generally put out a pretty good bang for buck. So I was interested on getting my hands on the 672, trying that out and seeing how that has fared. Now the 672 is a slightly larger panel than some of the lights that I've used by Aputure in the past, and it has, as the name would suggest, 672 LEDs. It's roughly around the size of an iPad, it's pretty light, it's very portable, it comes in a really handy carry case which carries the batteries, the power supply and the remote. Now in terms of the light itself, you have various different power options. You can obviously go off an AC adapter, but the main benefit for me for using LED video lights is the portability and the flexibility that they offer, and so being able to power them off Sony MPF batteries is a huge benefit to me. I used it on a recent shoot. It was a documentary and I was interviewing for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. The batteries, which were fully charged to begin with, went down to about 25%, and that was with the light at about 80% brightness. You can also charge the batteries as the light is being powered. So if you have it plugged into the AC adapter and the batteries attached, it's also charging the batteries. So that's also good to know if you're using it in multiple locations. Maybe you're moving from interiors to exteriors, or you're moving from a place that has power to somewhere that doesn't. And so you can take advantage of being able to charge the batteries as the light is plugged into an AC adapter. I was really impressed with the quality of light that the 672 produces. It has a CRI rating of 95 plus, and I can certainly say that I didn't see any color casts or shifts within the image that I was recording. The light, being an LED panel, is naturally fairly soft, and it also comes with a diffusion panel, and you can obviously add a softbox and extra diffusion, which I often do. But the overall light is very soft and flattering, and that's great for lighting talent and lighting subjects in corporates and interviews where you might not necessarily have a makeup artist on hand. The other thing with the 672 is that the version I have is the S, and this stands for spot, I think. What it means is that the beam of light that the unit produces is more focused, it's more of a spot than a widespread. One of the benefits of having that narrower beam is that it produces more concentrated light, and so the lux or the brightness value is higher at closer distances. I was getting about 6,000 lux at a distance of 1 meter, which is a really powerful light for the size and is perfect for lighting talent and doing documentary style shoots. The brightness of the light is controlled by the dimmer switch on the back. It gives you pretty much stepless control all the way from around 10% up to 100%. In terms of the color temperature of the light, it's a daylight balance source, so it outputs about 5500 Kelvin. For me, this is generally the preferred choice. I would always go for a single color temperature light rather than a bicolor panel, because you have a variability in terms of the brightness of bicolor panels, because they generally have tungsten LEDs and daylight balanced LEDs, and in order to get a variable color temperature, it just dims those two banks of LEDs, whereas with the 672 you've got 672 daylight balanced LEDs. Is outputting the maximum amount of brightness for the panel, and if I want to change the color temperature, I'll be gelling that with a CTO or a CTB or any other particular color that I want. One of the main things I've really loved about the 672 is the fact that it comes with a wireless remote control. Now this might seem like a small thing, but for the single shooter or someone who's working on a small cramped set, it's a massive benefit. Being able to control the light remotely without actually having to walk up to the light is of huge benefit. And so for me, having that ability to control the light by remote control is fantastic, especially when I'm doing a shoot on my own. In terms of the light, it's passively cooled, so there's no fan in there, there's no whirring sound to make noise that will be picked up by your sound or your sound recordist on set. I had the light working for long periods of time, doesn't get particularly hot. It certainly wasn't shutting down. I didn't have any problems with that. And that's one of the benefits of LED technology, is that it's not going to make your talent melt underneath the lights like tungsten can. So especially useful for shooting in small cramped spaces where you don't want it to get super hot. So overall, using the light was a fantastic experience for me. Most importantly, it produces a really high quality of light. It's a very flexible unit. I can use it in lots of different scenarios. It's very easy to use. If I had any small gripes, one would possibly be the battery release mechanism. It was a little bit stiff and took me a couple of goes to get the batteries off. Not a deal breaker by any stretch. And then also swapping out the diffusion panels and the CTO gel that comes with the light. It was a little stiff at times. It's something that's probably going to loosen up over time with usage. And to be honest, I'd always rather that something was a little bit too stiff in that respect, and then it's not going to be falling out on set. So not the end of the world by any stretch. So overall, it's been a great experience using this light. I'll certainly be using it on interviews, corporates, pieces to camera, and any sort of scenario where I want a really high quality of light in a small, flexible space. Hopefully this video has been useful. If it has, please think about hitting that subscribe button and the like button. And if you've got any questions or comments, please drop them in the comments below. I will get back to you, and I'll see you next time. Thanks very much for watching.